How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. Do me a huge favor. This is the way we always love to start. I want you to find clients. So jump inside of the chat. And if you already say hello to us, tell us where you're joining us from at the very least. If you already have your website or your social media already going on, if you already have chosen a niche or whatever, feel free to post that in the comments. Google, over the last couple of months, made some major changes in the algorithm so that stuff that's actually showing up on our feed, just like any other social media feed, when it sees those things, it's actually giving you SEO benefit. And so feel free to do that, because if you get a client out of it, that would be really amazing. So share where you're joining us from, where you are in your coaching journey. Maybe you're in the very beginning, maybe you're contemplating it. Maybe you already have your website up in your social media. Feel free to post that. Post who your ideal client is that you are looking for. Talk about that. And I'll say hello to some of the people who are saying hello to me. CJ is joining us from Los Angeles. Good to see you, CJ. If you guys would, again, jump inside of the chat, either on YouTube. We're on YouTube and we're on Facebook. The social benefit is mostly for you Facebook users, just so you know. So jump inside of the chat and let us know that you're here. Tell us where you're joining us from, where you are in your coaching journey. And if you've got a website for to find clients, social media, or any of those other things, feel free to post those things. We're more than happy for you to get a little bit of publicity out of joining us tonight. Kim is joining us from Chicago. Good to see you, Kim. Again, jump inside of the chat and let us know that you are here. There's Karen joining us from Georgia. There's her website, mydivinefreedom.com. I help women overcome self-doubt and move forward in life. See how simple that is? That's a really clear niche. So if you guys are looking, anybody who's looking for that help, go ahead and reach out to Karen. CJ says, I'm still working on my certification. Congrats on that. Keep that going. Anybody else that wants to say hello to us, tell us where you are joining us from and who your ideal client is. Also, preemptively, do me a favor. Like this post and share it. We always do what we say that we're going to do, and we have a forward mission statement at Life Coach Training Institute. It is proficient coaches, thriving practices. Everything that we do is under the end of you becoming a better coach in your skills, helping you get breakthrough for your clients, and also helping you get clients. So that's that other part on thriving practices. We're not a single dimensional school or training program. We're really after both, because it's one thing to have skills, but you got to have clients so that you can actually apply those skills. And so that's what we're always about. You can feel free to preemptively like this post. You can take your like back later if we do not do what we say that we're going to do. But I assure you, we are actually going to do what we say that we're going to do. We're in a series that we started just a couple of weeks ago. We're actually in week 3, and this series is called Power Play. And Power Play, really, what we've done in understanding this language that we're using, we're talking about Power Play, which is the power of your decisions and the power of your choice to actually give you the kind of life that you want. Now, in many cases, and this is kind of like if I gave you a recap of the last couple of weeks, indecision is a decision. When you won't take a decision, it is creating a momentum for you. And here's the other thing, is that even though we may not like the life that we have right now, it's the culmination. And I can go back in time and I can see the culmination of choices that I made that got me to the life that I have. So whether I like it or I don't like it, we are powerful people. So the choices that we are making are actually giving us the kinds of life that we want or don't want. Which, here's the benefit of that. The power play is, and the power move is that if you make different kinds of choices, if you know what kind of life that you want, then we make new choices. Because we're powerful people, we can actually have the life that we want. Because again, choices, changing your choices, knowing which ones, having the freedom, giving ourselves permission to make a different kind of choice is what this series has all been about. And this week, what we're talking about is choosing the destination. So we're thinking about that outcome that we're wanting to get to. And before we do that, what I'd like for you to do, we always make beautiful slides that go along with everything that I say every week. So if you like the slides, just text the keyword slides. That's how it works. Just the word slides to 833-258-7547. I'll give you guys about 10 seconds to do that. You'll scroll to the bottom of that page. And on the bottom of that page, you are going to find a green button where you can download all the slides in PDF and you can save them for the future. You can print them out. You can inspire yourself with them, whatever. So I'll give you guys about 5 seconds to do that. And as you guys are doing that, let me say hello to a couple of other people who are saying hello to me. And Deborah, who's joining us from Virginia. My business name is Pros of Price Coaching, and I am getting close to launching my website. I support exhaustive parents to help them rediscover the joy of parenting and find renewed purpose. Love that. It's Pearls of Price. There we go. Thanks for fixing that typo for us. Betty, joining us from Wisconsin, is a business career coach. That is BettyMagzum.com. That's how you spell that. I'll give that about 3 seconds so that you guys can take that down if you're looking for a coach. All right, so let's jump into this week's content, which we're talking about, again, the power play, which is choosing the destination. Now, here's where I want to start, as I want to start with this great quote from a book that I had read some years ago called Visioneering. And it's by this writer, Andy Stanley. And this is what he said. He said, everybody ends up somewhere and a few end up there on purpose. I'll say that again. Everybody ends up somewhere and a few end up there on purpose. This, in a nutshell, is really what vision is. And it's actually about choosing the destination, because we are all here. And we believe that our choices have actually brought us to the place, for better or for worse, where we are in our life. Now, here's the beautiful thing, is that all throughout our life, if you go back and you look at your life, there have been certain defining moments that gave you a key or a step towards a new life. And one of the things that I always see, and as you guys get a little bit older, and I have already hit the half-century mark, I'm actually over the hump in terms of the half-century mark, and I am fully in it now, is that there are these, what I would call convergent seasons in life. Convergence really hits in terms of the whole of your life around 50 years old. And because what you have is that you have enough information about yourself, you have enough history, you have enough failure, you have enough experience, you have enough wisdom, you have enough what I would say is kind of like an evaluation of what your skills are and what you're capable of. And there's also something that kind of kicks in by about the time you turn 40, which is, I don't really care what people think anymore. So all of these things kind of happen, and they really come to head when you turn age 50. Now, I believe that there are releasing moments all along the way. Now, there's releasing moments where I would say is, to some degree, that you have lived into some capacity towards what you're actually called for and what you actually want to see, and what you would say, man, if I could do this for the rest of my life, I would give my life to it. So we have these moments, and what I would say that they are kind of like visionary moments where I can see, man, I feel so good about the role that I'm playing. I'm seeing my efforts. I'm seeing that when I make a choice, it's actually having an impact. I'm seeing the impact around me on the life that I'm living. And really, we're living into more fulfillment into some of the key areas that we want in our life. Well, we can't come into fulfillment when we're in our 20s, as we should understand. And we don't in our 30s, and we definitely don't in our 40s. We really don't in our 50s. It's actually, fulfillment ends up being not an elusive thing, but something that as we go along in our life, we have a better estimation of who we are, and that we have a better, clearer picture of what due north is. And as we're going along, we're also saying no to some things that we used to say yes to, because we value ourselves differently than we used to. And we're also being very aware of the clock. We're very aware of our own mortality. And so we start dialing in, and we get more intentional, and we get more deliberate about things. So that what really happens is that as we're going through life, we're testing out and we're trying things, and there's certain things that we hate about what we're doing, and there's things that we love. And there comes a moment, though, when we realize that our choices actually matter. And that if I could, instead of only making a choice, like I would say a lateral decision, which is what most people do. Most people kind of make a horizontal decision in their life. And a lot of times, like with career, and that's one of the aspects, because I'm not saying that that's the only aspect, because there's a lot of aspects in life, right? But a lot of times what we do is that we will make horizontal decisions, lateral decisions in our life that don't actually move us forward. And it's because we don't really have a picture of what we want that's really clear. Having a conversation with my daughter, she's 13, and some of the conversations that we have, I'm helping her think longer term and think more in terms of vision about her life. So when she says things like, Dad, because we talked about it, I was like, what do you want this year? She says, I want a job this year. I'm like, okay, you don't really want a job. What does a job give you? Because that's kind of going to give you a picture. And she said, well, no, I just want money. And I'm like, no, you don't want money, but you want what money gives you. So what is the thing over there that it gives you? Because here's what happens when you choose laterally, because this is what people do all the time. They choose jobs that give them about $5 more an hour, or give them a little bit more free time, or a couple of extra benefits. But on the whole, it's not giving them a different life. It's not giving them greater fulfillment. How many people do you talk to that say, man, I just changed jobs and now I am fully into fulfillment in my life. I have actually completely stepped into fulfillment. Very few times do we hear somebody, what does that really take? It usually takes a pretty bold move. It takes a new step. It might actually require more training. I don't know what that would require, but usually most people are just making, again, horizontal decisions, and they're wondering why their life's not more fulfilling and more satisfying. These are people who they're ending up somewhere, but some people are actually ending up somewhere intentionally, on purpose. When was the last time, if you looked in your life, that you made a decision and you knew that that decision that you made was intention, that was making a difference 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road? And most people don't really have a plan for this year of making a decision that would actually make them in December living a different kind of life. So my daughter asked me the other day, when we're having these conversations or whatever, and different things are coming up in her mind, and she says, well, what's your New Year's resolution? And I was like, well, I don't have a New Year's resolution, but I do have an outcome that I want, and it's very specific. And I started naming those things, and they're very specific kinds of things that lead to something. And that's the thing, is it's like, not only do I need a picture, but I understand the power that I have to make choices and to do things differently that will actually lead me towards the outcome that I want in my life. But this is what we want to do as coaches. This is what I want for my coaches. You know what happens a lot of times is that coaches come in and they get trained and certified, but they don't actually have a vision for their life or a vision for their business. And that's really problematic. Where do you want to be 1 year from now, 5 years? I'm not trying to overwhelm you. Hey, if 5 years is too far away, it is for most people. That doesn't even compute. But could you say, this is January and we're already halfway through January? Could you say, January, here's how I would like my life to look different 6 months from now? And if we can't say that as coaches, we're going to really have a hard time of helping our clients set goals, because the goal is not what they should be. Like, it's not just simply a goal like, oh, I want to finish college. I want to do, like, it's not about just achieving something. It's the fact that there is something transformative that I want to see differently when I look in the mirror, that something is actually shifted and my life is permanently changed from that point on. Like, we need to at least be able to say 6 months from now, this is how I would like my life to look differently. And these are the kinds of things that I know will make a measurable change in my life, a meaningful change that will actually move me towards those things. What is vision, though? And I have a long drawn out series on vision, so I'm not going to do that, but I want to give you a picture and an understanding of what vision is. If we were going to say about my life or about your life, what we're really talking about is that a vision is the preferred future that is in contrast to the way your life is or the way the world is right now. And so sometimes in our vision, it's some direct things and it might impact. And what I would say is that if you can look in any category of your life, you can have a vision for your family. You can have a vision for your children. You can have a vision for your marriage. You can have a vision for your own development in any kind of way. You can have a vision for your spirituality. You can have a vision for your career. You can have a vision for your finances. You can have a vision for your clients. You can have a vision for your purpose in the world. You can have a vision of your life in a way that it impacts the world. So it's simple, but it's also really broad, because some of our visions actually do impact hundreds, maybe even thousands of people. And so it is a preferred future. So you're looking at right now, and we're not looking at our life right now in disgust or just simply frustrated with it. What we're able to see is, here's where my life is right now. And if I was able to put this other life, that I would say, here's what a preferred experience of my finances, of my career, of my family life, of my relationship with my children, of my health, whatever it is, that you should be able to say, well, here clearly. And most people don't do it. Most people say, I'm frustrated with my life. I'm disappointed with this. I'm a little bit hopeless over here. I'm getting more apathetic or whatever. And the reality is, it's because they haven't clearly stated, here's what I actually want in my life, and spelled it out in every category. They just kind of walk around with an existence that kind of gnaws on them and continues to be disappointing and sometimes actually quite depressing. So to have a vision, I need to actually spell out what that preferred future is in comparison to the one that I have right now. Vision is there's no ambiguity in this. There is a clear mental picture of what could be, but it's not just a picture of what could be. It's actually fueled by a conviction that it must be. How convicted are you in your life? And if you have not gotten convicted, I don't like to see a life wasted. I don't like to see wisdom wasted. I don't like to see experience wasted. I don't like to see talent and ability wasted. I don't like seeing people educate themselves and never actually use it. There's just kinds of things that I am convicted about other people's their own resources, what they bring to the table, and not living into the fullness in their life. Like, I wake up and I think about that. I look at people and I can see the gifts and callings on their life. And especially, I've channeled so much of my energy towards coaches that it's like there is something in me that wakes me up every morning and it makes me want to do better, to speak in a way, to make things simpler, to actually take that distance, that gap between where you are right now, to live into that. That is that own conviction every day, that I see this picture of what could be, and it drives me towards it. The question is that, are you convicted about your own life right now? Because if you don't have conviction about it, you don't really have a vision. And so instead of just being frustrated or irritated, because I think frustration can be a really good thing. I think even anger, not destructive anger, but I think that anger can kind of tell you where your due north is supposed to be. Even sometimes people who find themselves a little bit depressed, hey, thank God that you care about something, that you're kind of frustrated by the way things look around you right now. But what we've got to do is not allow those things to create an emotional lid on us and to keep us shut down. All that really needs to be done is to take these things and say, here's what I believe that things are supposed to look like, and rewire it as conviction. Because here's the thing, is that if you are convicted about it and you're not doing anything about it, then you will be depressed. You will be frustrated. You will be shut down. Because what's happening is that inside you, it's saying, this really matters to us, and you're not doing anything about it. Depression is that anger turned towards ourselves. And I'm not talking about clinical depression. I'm not talking about, chemical imbalances, though I will say that what we are thinking about will create a chemical reaction inside of our body that will allow us to stay there and to feel terrible about how we're doing. There is an anger sometimes that's set towards us because we know we're supposed to be doing things that we're not doing. That's conviction that has not had a participant with it. That's conviction that you know that you actually have the ability to choose, but you have been unwilling up to now to actually take that active choice. And so, people with vision, when you hear of somebody who's visionary, I want you to understand that those people aren't just dreamers. Visionary people, people with vision, are people that usually can see something that nobody else can see. And they are convicted inside their own personal beliefs about the thing that they are seeing. And here's the thing is that for a person to really have vision that moves them, there is usually a moral implication. And see, if there's a moral implication about you being a coach, and I think that it usually is, because usually when I talk to people, and that's why even just a little while ago, when people are posting what they were saying a while ago, I'm just going to look at a couple of things that people were talking about. Karen says, I help women overcome self-doubt and move forward in life. Karen's not just doing that just to do it because she's like, okay, that would be a really good niche for me. Karen's doing it because in her heart, there is a moral implication in this. It's not okay for women to live in self-doubt and to be stuck in their life. And so there's something moral about it. Like there is a right and wrong that you're saying this is not okay and I must do something about it. See, when I look over here and I see this Pearls of Price coaching, I support exhausted parents, help them rediscover the joy of parenting and find renewed purpose. This is a moral my job has moral implications. That's making me go after. It's inspiring the vision and it's convicting me on a deeper level. See, there's a lot of times things that we do don't always have a moral implication, but if it does, it's another layer that actually moves you forward. And here's what I would say is that if you find a moral implication about what you are supposed to be doing, listen, the mistakes that we make in life are usually not the evil that we are doing. There's a certain point at which we don't do evil things, but really what it is, it's the good that we were called to do that never finds a home and we never take responsibility for. To me, that might be worse in my own estimation of what people's own potential is. When you know inside you that you see something other people can't see, and for you, that there is a moral imperative in your heart that you are supposed to help a certain group of people. And if you are not, for whatever reason it is, then that is a heavy weight to bear for the rest of your life, because it feels, and I would say, when you are not doing the good that you are supposed to be doing, that is actually a problem that you're never going to be able to resolve until you actually do it, until you take that step. See, people with vision aren't just dreamers. They've actually convinced themselves about what it is that they see and that it must happen. It's not simply their imagination. It is ownership. And I'm looking for people even tonight who are watching this is to actually take ownership for that picture that you see in your life. To understand that it requires personal responsibility. And here's the reason why it's requiring people to be personally responsible for things that there is a moral imperative in their life. Here's the reason why. Why is it so important for you to actually get trained and certified and go start this thing and do it? Because nobody else is going to do it. That's the simplest thing that I can tell you. No one is gifted the same way that you are. No one sees the same things that you see. And no one has the moral imperative that you have probably for that issue. And it's so obvious to you, but it may not be obvious to other people. And so in a very real way, if you don't do it and if you don't respond when your number's called, then who's going to do it? Listen, I live every day longing for my number to be called. I'm looking all the time. Call my number. It's my prayer. Call my number. If nobody else is going to respond, you know I will respond. So call my number. And those people who are always in that place of truly taking ownership and truly taking personal responsibility for the thing that is in their heart, you know what they end up having? They end up getting trusted with more people. There's always a principle that if you will steward what's actually placed in your heart, there will always be more. There will always be increase for it. And here's the thing is that it requires a choice. It requires a choice today, and not just today, because it's kind of easy to get trained and certified. It's kind of easy to go over there and get enrolled in like 90 seconds. It means that you're going to make a choice today, and you're going to make a choice tomorrow to show up, and you're going to make the choice again to show up, knowing that the longer that you choose, you will actually wire your brain to take possession of this thing that you see, and that you will start taking the steps that start to make it manifest. See, vision has exponential power. It in and of itself, when you can see what it is that you want and what's supposed to happen, just being able to see it creates motivation. Motivation is not simply a motivational thing. What it is that when you use your power of choice, when you use your power to make a decision, what happens is that because you're using autonomy and you're making a decision, the byproduct of that is that you are taking control, which gives you motivation. You're motivated when you make a decision that you know is actually making an impact. You're motivated when you know what you're doing actually matters. Vision has exponential power because it creates productivity. People who have vision get more things done. And people with vision have a way of getting bigger things done than people who don't have vision. This is what power looks like over time. It's not urgency. We've talked about the fact that you have power in your decision. Now let's add vision that gives us direction. That is a superpower. That is catalytic because you make decisions every day, right? We said before, not every decision ends up making some kind of earth-shattering change. It doesn't always create a moment that is life-changing, life-altering. But I will tell you this, when you have vision, when you know where you are headed, when you know what you want, even if that vision is 3 months down the road or 6 months down the road or a year down the road, when you start matching your decision making, when you match that power of choice with a picture, now we have direction, and it actually creates an unstoppable momentum in your life. I want to close with this one, and it's this old proverb that many of you have probably heard, and it's actually Proverbs 29:18, and it says, "Where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint." And some of you have probably heard a modern translation of that says, "Where there is no vision, people perish." But I want to help you understand what this means, because I teach some of this in the Life Coach Certification course, but I want you to understand what vision does for you. Imagine that your life is this boat, and for many people, life in this boat, what is happening is that people are kind of reacting. They're not really taking control. And so what often happens for people is that they kind of have the winds, however they kind of come in life, however the winds blow, what people find is that they get moved erratically by everything that happens, this direction, or whatever. And this is where most people are in their life without vision. They're kind of like a sailboat that has no control over anything that's happening, and they react to everything that is coming at them. And so they're moving this direction, and then they go in this direction, and sometimes their life gets completely upended. Let me show you what vision does for you. And this is why without vision, people perish. This is why without vision, people cast off restraint. Let me help you understand what vision is. Vision is not simply this picture of the future, because a lot of times what people think is that vision ends up being, this destination over here, whatever it is. That was supposed to be a flag, but whatever this destination is or whatever, a lot of times people think that vision is simply trying to get there. But that's not really what vision does for you. Yes, it does give you that picture for the future, but here's what vision does for you. Vision, in and of itself, is an anchor. And it's incredibly important to have an anchor, because you know what's going to happen is that the winds are going to be blowing. Nothing's going to stop winds from blowing. Nothing is going to stop waters from raging at times or anything else. And here's what vision actually does for you. Vision provides an anchor. What it does is that it goes down to the depth, and regardless of what kinds of winds or what kind of water is moving back and forth, what it enables you to do is it gives you just enough give. It will not allow you to break, and it won't allow you to be destroyed, but it also will not allow you to be pushed off in a direction that you did not choose to go. And so vision does this amazing thing for us, is that it actually centers us. It creates a space of gravity. It creates a place of focus. And in spite of what's happening in life, and in spite of what's happening in the world, that vision is this way, that it's like, hey, I'm not reacting to everything that happens, because that's what most people are doing in the world. They react to what people are saying politically. They react to what they think the economy is doing. They're reacting to everything that comes to them. What vision does is that it says, this is what I want in my life. This is what I want in my children. Here's what I want in my marriage. Here's what I want in my career. Here's what I want my monument to say, my tombstone to say one day. Here's what I want my legacy to be. Here's what I want to leave behind. All of those things, regardless of whatever is happening in the world, the people who have vision have grounded, they have centered themselves, and they have determined what is going to happen. Now, listen, here's the reality, is that the world changes sometimes, and there's sometimes going to be unexpected things, but our reaction is not blowing us out of the water. Our reaction is saying, in spite of this, maybe this was a surprise over here, but I still know what I want. And I know what adjustments that I need to make to be able to get it and to be able to achieve it. So at the same time, that vision will give you this future picture. It is one of those things that drives a stake in the ground and says, this is what we want. And in spite of anything that's happening, I'm not going to be unmoved from the position that I'm at. I'm going to actually determine the steps that I'm taking that moves forward. This is what powerful people do. There's always an opportunity in spite of anything that's happening in the world. And people with vision understand that. They sniff out opportunity. Every time that there is a problem in the world, you know why we're in business as coaches? Because there's problems in the world. There's problems that people want to solve in their life. If there were not problems, nobody's going to hire coaches. And so everything that we do, every time there's a problem, even in our own life, there's an opportunity that actually exists there. There's always an upgrade that happens when it comes to problems. There's always something that I can gain, not something that I would lose in the middle of those things. And so vision allows us to see problems through a completely different lens, because in spite of what's happening, I am determining what my disposition is going to be, and I'm determining what my action is going to be consistently every time moving forward. So we choose the destination. This stuff's kind of out of order, so let me see if I can wrap it up. If nothing changes, where do you end up? I want you to look ahead 6 months down the road. It's January 11th, 12th, whatever it is. If you get to June 12th, if nothing changes, where do you end up? And is that a decision that you're willing to own? Because you're a powerful person. Now, here's the thing. If nothing changes, like let's just say, because I can only speak to you, I can speak to you about a lot of things, but let's speak to you about coaching. If you don't get trained and certified, start your business. If nothing changes, what does that mean for the people in the world that you are meant to touch and to change their life? What does that mean for your income? What does that mean for your career? What does that mean for your passion? What does that mean for your purpose? What does that mean for the calling in your life? What does that mean for your family? All of those things. You know, what does it mean? First off, I want you to understand that if nothing changes, where do you end up? You can say exactly where you're going to be in June. You know why you can say exactly where you're going to be in June? Because you're that powerful. Like if I just keep making the small decisions that I'm making right now, I know the destination. You know what you're going to be eating that the second week of June. We're in the second week of January. You know what you're going to be eating the second week of June. You know what you're going to be driving. You're going to know where you're living. You're going to be all the things. You know what show you're going to be watching on TV. You know how you're going to be spending your days. Everything's going to be exactly as it is today, with very few surprises, because you're a powerful person that makes choices that gets you there. So, are you okay with your life being exactly as it is right now in June? And are you willing to own that? And it's fine if you're willing to own that. But you are owning the fact that you're a powerful person, and you're determining right now. Like you could tell me right now with very few surprises what is happening in the second week of June. There's not going to be anything shocking, earth shattering, unless you do something shocking and earth shattering right now to change your life. Number two, second question, is that a destination that you are willing to own? And I'm not justifying anything. Wait, actually, did I say the same thing? That is actually what I just said. Why did I put that in there twice? Sorry, that's supposed to be the second question. There's no justifying. It's just a simple yes or no. Three, what do you stop tolerating if that destination is going to change? What do you tolerate right now? What are you putting up with? What is the one thing that you keep allowing to be okay that is truly not okay? See, it is that thing right now, because as my coach mentor, Philip Sandahl, used to always ask that question, what are you tolerating? What are you putting up with? What are you pretending like is okay? Because that's what we have to do. We have certain kinds of things that are kind of like irritants and that we're frustrated with. And you know what we'll do a lot of times? We'll try to pretend that it's not there, or we'll try to keep ourselves out of misery. It's kind of like having a back pain and you take enough ibuprofen and you get that thing kind of, not completely, but you kind of numb yourself, but you're not actually dealing with what the root of the pain and the root cause is. It really requires at a certain point of actually acknowledging that this is painful and I don't like where we are right now. And then I'm not going to tolerate it, but I'm going to actually go to the root source and the cause of whatever is actually the ailment in my life that I'm frustrated with. And I'm going to say, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. Look at your life right now. What is the thing that you have to stop tolerating if anything is going to change? You get to make that call. You get to make that choice. For those of you, whether you've gotten trained or certified yet, one of the things that we have done in the last year is that we've launched a program called 30-Day Coaching Practice Fast Track. Now, what we did in 30-day, which is really different than anything that really anybody has ever done in our industry, is that what I wanted to do is that I wanted to, again, I'm trying to take the gap away from you getting started. And we did this for when we started out at Life Coach Training Institute, of allowing you to have a self-paced course where you determine your schedule, and we take the scheduling thing out of the mix, because a lot of times it's hard, because I know you guys work 40 hours a week and you have families. That was my situation. That you're not going to have to travel somewhere. You can do it fully online. And we also wanted to make it really affordable. If we could take any of the things that keep you from getting started. So we have a fully accredited self-paced program. We also have a one-day program, and we also have a lot of live opportunities for you to be able to connect and support, so that you're not doing this thing on your own. But we also have that other side, which is the business development side. And what we've done is that we've taken all of our business development resources, where we've been helping coaches all the way since 2014. And what I did is I made a step-by-step guide that is a no-brainer, that, let's say that you started your business today. You know what you need to do today to make a step towards, and really what I would say, here's the vision. Start your business in 30 days. Well, I tell you what you need to do on day one. In day two, day three, what I did is I created a 30-day launch guide, and I give you videos to walk you through every step of the process. Inside of 30-day coaching practice fast track, we have done for you templates. We have checklists. We have all of your coaching agreements. All your onboarding documents are already done. We start by helping you choose a coaching niche. And we also show you how to create your first offers in a real launch strategy for your business. Inside that is a lead magnet generator, so that you know how to begin to build a list and attract clients. and how you can begin to build relationships with them. There's a coaching offer builder. What I show you is really a low risk entry level offer, a mid-tier offer, and then we also have a higher tier offer that are for your VIP clients. I also give you a wireframe website tool. And what I do is I show you what makes a high converting website, and we give you plenty of examples to be able to draw from, because everybody's going to need a website. We also give you email writing tools, and we give you a lot of proven samples of things that work. We also give you a launch planner, and there's a bunch of bonus tools and videos. There's also the course, The Essential Guide to Group Coaching. Many of you have learned from me that I don't believe that you should just be offering only one-on-one coaching. It's the only way that you're creating a way for people to work for you. Group coaching is one of those ways to build your income and your revenue fast, and to build trust with people who will later become VIP clients. They may not want to pay hundreds of dollars an hour to work with you on the front end, but they might pay for a group program where the price comes down a little bit, and you have a facilitated group coaching program where everybody's kind of pulled together. And the reality is that you make more money per hour in group coaching programs than you do in one-on-one anyway. What we did inside of that course is that I show you how to do group coaching, and I show you how to build out a program. It's its own course, but we're offering it as an extra add-on to what this program is. So it's a group. We give you group coaching training videos. We give you a group coaching program creation guide, and inside that, you're also going to get all your coaching agreements and all of those other things as well. You're going to get this course for a year. And so the price is only $195. We know what the value on this thing is, $6,500. And what this allows you to do is like, hey, if you don't get it done in 30 days, well, you can extend it, because I understand life happens and everything else. And so if you get enrolled in that now, the link is inside the description of the video. This is for people, especially if you've already gotten your certification out of the way, but you know that you haven't started your business. Let us help you take all of the guesswork out of it and give you proven strategies to be able to do this. Now, if you haven't gotten trained and certified yet, we have a bundle deal with the Life Coach Certification course. And what we do with the bundle is that we take $100 off of that price, and you can actually get trained and certified through our self-paced course. It's only $295. That is $100 off. It's $10,000 worth of training. So not only do you get the 30-day coaching practice fast track, where we walk you through all the steps to build your business, but you also get all of the training that we offer for the self-paced course. You get Tuesday night coach training that you get to be able to come in on Tuesday nights, ask your questions. We have some weeks that we only just practice coaching, but we want to make sure that you literally have everything that you need to do to get launched, and also not to put you in debt for the rest of your life as you start. Our self-paced course, if you've never looked into, let me add this as well. Probably the fastest way, expedited way to get trained and certified is actually going to be Saturday, January 24th, which is our one-day Life Coach Certification Training Accelerator. What we do during that time is that we take all of our training, and you are able to complete all the training in a single day. We finish up training with a live session that is all about building your coaching practice and how do you start to creating a six-figure coaching practice. All your training is done after that day. You just turn in your assignments and you take the exam, and you are done. So some of you guys who are like, well, I'm not going to do this self-paced thing. I'll never keep up. I'm not going to be able to do the week-to-week thing. Then do this. The price for one-day Accelerator is only $195. It's all of the core training, the 7 core modules of the Life Coach Certification course, and it also includes the live Tuesday night coach training. If you go on this page on the website, you'll also be able to bundle that with 30-day coaching practice fast track. So you can also get this program for $295 bundled as well. And so that course, again, this one-day training, not only does it include all of your training, it includes your certificate, it includes your hosted public link for your credential. It also includes all of your welcome pack, onboarding documents to start working with clients. It also includes the coaching tool starter pack, and it also includes a free listing on lifecoachmatch.com, just like our self-paced course, the Life Coach Certification course. So you really have a couple of options. Both are at the identical price. Which way works in your favor the best? Is it let's knock all of this stuff out in an expedited way in a one day, which is a Saturday on January 24th? Or does it work to get enrolled now because it's a new cohort? Tomorrow we're doing session 1, Foundations of Coaching. You can get enrolled in about 90 seconds and we can start this thing and work on this thing together. Let me say hello to a couple of people who are saying hello to me. Lenore says, I'm super excited. I just got my certificate today. Yay! Way to go. That's so good. Greg says, true legends don't age past 35. I guess I'm not one of those then. Eileen says, I began working on a tech training set of courses at the local university. Got on course. I could not get scheduled. My purpose was to make a promotion and to change jobs where I was working, and I never finished that set of courses. Okay. Sharon is joining us from Jacksonville. Unica from California. Sharon says, this has been such an excellent and powerful session. Thank you. I am encouraged. It's so good. And Betty says, great info, Paul. Have a great night. Awesome. Well, we're going to put this on replay. I'm going to encourage you to get enrolled. It takes you about 90 seconds to get enrolled in any of those programs. Hopefully you didn't get confused as I was trying to run through them. I forgot about that one slide putting in there. So that was like, oh, I got to talk about this. Let us help you. Let's make this happen. Let's make your June different than what it's going to be, because you're one choice away from a completely different life. You are one choice away from a game changer in your life. And the sooner that you make that choice, then the easier it is to actually see that transformation, that transformed life 6 months from now. You're here to make an impact. You're here to change the world. I'm not going to let you run away from that and pretend that you aren't supposed to do that, because you are. Take yourself as seriously as I take you. The world's waiting on you, but it's waiting on you to make the choice, because you are the one with the power play. It's your own decision. You do it. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Have a great rest of your week and take care.